Welcome to New York's #2 sports show. A really disappointing game from the Rangers in Game 5. The Hurricanes stave off elimination again. Hurricanes win by a final score of 4-1. The Rangers actually led this game 1-0 at the end of two periods, and the Rangers' record when leading after two and just third periods in general have been really good. Not the case at all in this one, and also it's not as if the first two periods were all that great either. But obviously the third period is where, the Rangers unravel and come undone. So just not a great, just a listless performance from the Rangers. And, Game 4, I had no issue with the way they played. A lot of these were toss-up games, and you're not going to win them all. And so, Game 4, while we're going to talk about players that didn't do well in Game 4, and then that carried into Game 5, that is relevant. But, it's two separate situations. But my whole kind of theme on the season at large and just in general, and I thought that they kind of exercised some demons by winning Game 3, but here we are again, kind of, like if they can respond and win Game 6, then it's really not much of a talking point, but for now it is. And what it is the fact that the Rangers blew a 2-0 lead against the Lightning in 2022 and a 2-0 lead against the Devils in 2023 under Gerard Gallant. And I like everything that Peter Laviolette said after the game. He was hard on him, and I appreciate that, and he's right. And look, like, he is in some way to blame as well. I blame more of the players than him, but it was more of a not taking the game and trying to win. It felt like it was more trying not to lose and sitting back. And we haven't really seen the Rangers do that. I like the way that they've played in third periods, whether it be protecting a lead or in a tie game or something like that. This was different. Really all game long, the Hurricanes had easy zone entries. Igor Shesterkin was really good. He was the Rangers' best player. And there was only so much that he could do. Freddie Anderson was simply not tested. Just not at all. A very easy performance by Freddie Anderson. And the one goal he allowed was a shorthanded goal by Jacob Trouba. So that's the crazy thing, is that Jacob Trouba was almost in some ways, if the Rangers had held on somehow and won 1-0, like he would have been like definitely part of the story. That said, Trouba, we'll talk about things where Trouba did not do so well, but he did do that. And it's not like, it was just kind of a simple wrist shot. And Anderson, it's one that he probably would like to have back, but it doesn't matter because the Hurricanes, were a desperate team, much more desperate than the Rangers, and they take it to him in the third period completely. So just, it feels a lot like it has in previous years. Now, obviously, coming back from 3-0 down to win a series has only happened 4 times in the history of the NHL. So, look, Carolina's halfway there, but you got to take it one game at a time. And I just don't like how they played. And I don't think anyone can. And for me, where the players that I have the biggest issue with, it's 4 of them. And these players were not good last game either. It's Artemi Panarin, Vincent Trocheck, Mika Zibanejad, Chris Kreider. Like, you're going to need a lot more from them. If the Rangers are going to go anywhere and they're going to win this series, they're going to need a lot more from them. Now, look, to be fair, let's just keep it within the context of this series. Through the first 3 games of the series, those players were really good and were huge contributors to where they were. So I don't want to take away from that. And Game 4 was not good by them. Like Alexis Lafreniere was kind of the one guy within that top 6 that was buzzing. And in this game, Lafreniere wasn't really much to be heard from. But I'm not going to get on him at all because, again, he had that really good Game 4 and has been good all series. So he's not part of this. But, yeah, like when Jack Roslovic's kind of your most dangerous player in the top 6, that's kind of a problem. And it's not really what you want. But kind of to segue away from that, but I think I'll probably go back there a little bit because it is frustrating. And those players played a major role in the goals allowed. Some of those players were the biggest reason for the goal against. And we'll get there once we get to the third period here. But as far as the lineup, Matt Rempe came back in for Johnny Brodzinski. And I'm not so surprised by that. Being at home, controlling the line changes and the crowd, it made sense to go. It's not as if Brodzinski did enough to warrant being back in the lineup. And Rempe, I thought, in limited time, 6 minutes of action, thought it looked pretty good. For what it's worth, I actually thought that he was probably one of the more effective Rangers. He's not saying much, but I thought that was true. And the good news is, as far as Filipino, it doesn't sound like it's concussion related as to why he's out. But they're going to tread lightly. Would really be happy if somehow Heedle can come back for Game 6. I think that would help. But we don't know. I don't think it'll be Rempe. And so if it's not, and it's not Heedle, they probably go back to Brodzinski. Of note, Blake Wheeler he shedded the no contact uniform, so he's kind of back in full go. I would not go to him, and I don't think they will. Does it mean that we may see Blake Wheeler at some point, but certainly we're not going to see him in this series. No way. There's just no way that's going to happen, and nor should it happen. So if Heedle's fully healthy, it's obviously going to be him. If not, I kind of suspect they'd go back to Brodzinski, but you never know. As far as the defense, like, it sucks that Zach Jones can't work his way into the lineup, but it feels like it's almost too late. But Jones really didn't play much in the regular season and came in and did a really nice job. So he has set out for a while and come in and done the job, but I don't think we're going to see that here. And Gustafson would be the guy that would leave the lineup. And fair or unfair, that's what it would be. It's the most seamless switch. I don't think Laviolette's going to make that change, but it's certainly worth at least discussing, because I think Gustafson's game's been lacking. And again, it's tough. When Jacob Trouba is your defensive partner, I understand it's going to be tough. So I don't mean to come down hard solely on Gustafson, because to be fair tonight, that Braden Schneider had a really rough game, and to a lesser degree, Keandre Miller too. And I think that pair has been maybe their most consistent all playoffs long, but I didn't think they were good. Ryan Lindgren did bounce back after that really bad penalty. I thought Lindgren was actually one of their best defensemen tonight. Again, it didn't amount to much. And it was just much more of it was a defensive type game for the Rangers. They just did not provide any offense. 9 shots in the first, 6 shots in the second, 6 shots in the third. And the third, once the game was tied, they almost kind of gave up a little bit. That's strong, I guess. But, when they were down by 1, it felt over. Even the Rangers have had a propensity for coming back. It just, the life from the MSG crowd, it was just sucked out of them. Any momentum that they, could muster up, it wasn't there. So let's just get right into the game. And again, I can't say enough how really, really disturbing and disappointing this game was. But for Carolina, the same lineup as it had been last game. It doesn't sound as if Brett Pesce will be back in the series, but that's another little concern. The longer it goes, the chances of him returning do increase, but it would appear as if that won't happen. But, first period, and look, there weren't that many penalties called in this game, and that's kind of how it's being called now, which is not advantage Rangers. I think, although the Rangers power play, the few times they've had them, has not been good lately. Ranger penalty kill, on the other hand, continues, except for that one Brady Shea goal. The penalty kill has been awesome. That's the one, sort of consistent strength. The first period, I guess I would say it was a slight edge to Carolina. Not overwhelmingly so. It was just Carolina had a little bit more ozone time, which you'd expect. And the better chances just starting out to stop than Anderson. I didn't think Carolina killed them in the first. I thought that it was maybe just a slight advantage, but still not a great first period by the Rangers. But hey, they come out of it scoreless. At 18:05, Evgeny Kuznetsov takes a dumb penalty. He slashes Eric Gustafson. Now, those two were teammates last year with the Washington Capitals, and a really, really poor power play by the Rangers. I don't like what I've seen from them. And again, it's an extension of how I feel about most of the guys in that unit. They got to step it up. If they don't, this could go south even further. So Carolina kills that off. We go to the second period. At 3:47, Dmitry Orlov is called for roughing Adam Fox. And again, not a good power play for the Rangers. And then at 5:56, after the Ranger power play expired, they had some chances and there was some chaos. And eventually Jack Roslovic is called for tripping Dmitry Orlov. And it's on this penalty kill that Jacob Trouba scores a shorthanded goal. His first goal of the playoffs unassisted. So a play where Trouba gets possession of the puck in the defensive zone, takes it up. It's a 2-on-1 with Barclay Goodrow. Trouba takes a shot. Now, to be fair to Trouba, the good thing was he didn't shoot it right in the heart of Anderson. He kind of picked the side and went left. He was skating on the right side and he snapped it by Anderson. So a rare Trouba goal, but not a rare shorthanded goal. It's another shorthanded goal for the Rangers. Another defenseman scored a shorthanded goal. We've seen a lot of that lately. We saw Schneider against the Islanders in the second last game of the year. Fox versus the Senators in the last game of the year. Keandre Miller versus the Capitals, and now here Trouba. Like, it's not just the shorthanded goals, but it's defensemen scoring them too. So very impressive. I can't say enough good things about the penalty kill, and that's the one real bright spot. So the Rangers take a 1-0 lead there. And then at 9:59, Adam Fox is called for holding Kotkaniemi. Rangers kill it off. Then towards the end of the period, the one thing I look back on and say, damn, like this game could have went in the Ranger direction further, was you had an opportunity by Keandre Miller walking in kind of all alone, where I think it might have been either Wenberg or Cooley who sets him up, and he just rips it wide. I think he was trying to go top corner, and it goes wide. And then they go the other way. Will Cooley takes a bad penalty. At 1950, he trips Sebastian Aho. So it wasn't necessary. I understand why it happened, but hey, the Rangers did. I don't love that the third period started this way, but the Rangers did kill it off, and it was a really good kill. But then it all comes undone. It all just completely falls apart. In the third period, the Hurricanes tied up at 3:33. Jordan Staal scores his first goal of the playoffs, assisted by Dmitry Orlov. And what happens here is it's a really bad change by Mika Zibanejad. And I know he was tired, but you just cannot allow that to happen. With Staal, who was either fresh coming off the ice or certainly was in position to do damage. So Zibanejad really, really poor there. And there was another kind of brain-dead moment by Zibanejad earlier in the game where, to be fair to him, I think he was cross-checked and was kind of thrown off. And this was when the Rangers were on a power play. So Mika, just not a great game for him. I'll give him credit. He was really good on faceoffs. But yeah, just not great getting off. And then what happens is Staal just gets around Braden Schneider. It's a bad job by Braden Schneider. I know Stahl's got a long reach and not easy. I mean, he doesn't have much speed. And he goes around Schneider. And then Keandre Miller is unable to kind of get a stick and prevent it. Like, it was just too easy for Staal to go in, and he just makes room around Igor and backhands it in. Really nice goal by Jordan Staal. He turned back the clock like fucking 15 years ago. So that ties it up at 1. So, blame to go around there. Again, Zibanejad, Schneider, really the main ones to me. And then at 6:39. Carolina takes the lead, and it's Evgeny Kuznetsov scores his fourth goal of the playoffs from Shea and Kotkaniemi. So this is a shot by Brady Shea. And look, as far as Igor is concerned, would you have liked it to have not been a rebound opportunity? Yeah, but I'm not going to go crazy on that. Again, Igor was, the best player in this game for the Rangers. But what happens is Artemi Panarin with just a lazy shit back check, and Kuznetsov gets by him and just buries the rebound. Just unacceptable. Now, I will say before that, when it was 1-1, Jalen Chatfield was clearly hooking Artemi Panarin, and they just didn't call it. And that's what I'm saying. Like, they are not calling stuff now. And, so Panarin, at least, he did deserve to draw that penalty, but still, inexcusable, lazy job by Panarin. It's just, you can't have it. Completely unacceptable. And for Panarin, thank God that he's had, some really, key opportunity, he's had some big goals in these playoffs, and for that, obviously, he deserves credit. But just the eye test for Artemi, it's been really, really brutal, and I can't say I'm all that surprised because we've seen this from him in the playoffs. So that happens there. That makes it 2-1. And then at 9:56, they score again. So it's kind of within 3-minute spans. Like 3 minutes into the period, then another 3 minutes, then another 3 minutes. Jordan Martinook scores his second goal of the playoffs from Drury and Natchez. And this is a play where Jacob Trouba just turns it over behind the net. So to that point, Trouba scores the short-handed goal. He was doing all right. He was doing okay, for him. And then what does he do? He gives them a goal. So just a terrible turnover, and it puts Martinook in a great position. I think it was Drury that might have caused the turnover. And Martinook scores, makes it 3-1 Carolina. And at this point, it really feels, it was already kind of feeling done before that. Rangers do get a power play at 10:27. Andrei Svechnikov's called for delay of game, but the Rangers do absolutely nothing with it. Just another bad power play. And then Rangers pull the goalie, try for a 6-on-4, and at 16:29, Marty Natchez gets an empty net goal. His third goal of the playoffs from Chatfield and Drury, and the Hurricanes win 4-1. Rangers only put up 21 shots on goal. Anderson not tested at all. just a bad job. And you know, it kind of felt a little bit like 2022 Game 5 versus the Lightning. And I know that series was 2-2, but that it had a feel like that. In some ways, it kind of felt like 2015 Game 5 against the Lightning. Again, it's not exact. So, you know, take that with somewhat of a grain of salt, but just kind of thinking about it a little bit. It had, you know, it felt like things we've seen before at Madison Square Garden. And the fans had nothing to cheer about. They were looking to go to this game and watch a team clinch. And instead, the Hurricanes again stave off elimination. You know, and it's crazy how things can change. Like if Ryan Lindgren doesn't take that penalty in Game 4, hey, the Rangers had a decent chance to find a way, whether it was in, you know, the rest of regulation or in overtime, to have swept the series. It could have happened. And now here we are. It's 3-2 Rangers heading back to Carolina. Now there's a couple of days off, and hopefully that can help the Rangers reset. Now as a fan, it kind of sucks to kind of sit on the loss, but for the players, hopefully switching up the routine and just kind of resetting can help them. The Rangers have played pretty well in Carolina. I will say that, even though the Hurricanes notoriously are much better at home. The Rangers dating back to Game 7 against the Hurricanes in 2022. They've played some decent hockey in Raleigh. And hopefully, I mean, because look, like you don't want this to become a situation where it goes to Game 7. And look, it might. I mean, there's a decent chance that this does go 7. And it'd be great for the Rangers to avoid that. And you have the Florida Panthers, who are up 3-1 and really on the precipice of they're about to win their series, likely in 5. If it's not in 5, it'll be, you know, probably in 6. Like the Panthers are going to be sitting there waiting for the Rangers. So it's really imperative for the Rangers to get this done as soon as they can. But now we have a whole different conversation. After Game 4, it was different. Now here after Game 5, it's, you know, there's going to be a lot of chatter. And, you know, let's see what the Rangers are made of. Let's see what this team is made of. And I hope that Peter Laviolette, unlike Gerard Gallant, I'm hoping that Peter Laviolette can make the necessary adjustments, and whether it be X's and O's, whether it be just straight up motivation, because, hey, Peter Laviolette, if anyone knows about this, coming back from 3-0 down, it is Peter Laviolette, as his Philadelphia Flyers were one of the 4 teams to have ever done it. In 2010, they did it versus the Boston Bruins. So he has that perspective from the other side of it. And I hope that is, you know, knowledge that'll be important for this Ranger team. So again, a very, very discouraging, bad effort. The Rangers lose Game 5 to the Carolina Hurricanes by a score of 4-1. Now the Rangers have a 3-2 series lead heading to Game 6. They will head to Carolina for a really, really big game Thursday night.